Can England recover from their heaviest test defeat in 90 years that they suffered in Rajkot to keep the series alive and force a decider? What can we expect from England in Ranchi in the fourth test of the series? Steve Harmison's here to help us build up to the England perspective. We know, Steve, that England have made two changes. Ollie Robinson and Shoaib Bashir come in for Mark Wood and Rehan Ahmed. Let's start breaking down those changes. The pace change first. Mark Wood is the one who goes out and not James Anderson. Given the kind of workload England had in that Rajkot test, are you surprised to see that change?
Not surprised. I didn't think that. I thought they might change both seamers if they were going to play two. There was a lot of talk in the build-up that England might just play one seamer and the three spinners. If they did that, I'm not sure they could trust Robinson because he hasn't played a first-class match since July, and the games that he's played subsequently before that, he wasn't the fittest and he wasn't the most durable. So I think that would have been a big ask, especially when you're asking the one seamer in the first test 25 overs and Jimmy Anderson both 35 in the second test. So that's a big workload for one seamer. So with Robinson and Anderson coming in to give you control, there must be something in the pitch. We haven't obviously seen that. Looks cracked. Looks very, very dry. Ben Stokes says he's seen nothing like it when he talked about the pitch yesterday. So from that point of view, I understand why they've gone with Anderson. I think Anderson's experience, and they might feel as though there's no need for that extra pace on this surface, and that's why they've gone for Robinson, taller, gone for try and hit the cracks and see if they can get some indifferent bounce on that load. So I'm assuming that's what England have been thinking.
Yeah, and Robinson was one of the more impactful pacers during the 3-0 win in Pakistan in late 2022. On the evidence of that, what is it that the best version of Robinson can bring to this English pace attack?
No question his quality. I've never questioned Ollie Robinson's quality. It's his durability to bowl spell after spell, come back late at the end of a day. His body's let him down in recent times, but I've been out there and seen him close quarters in the first two test matches. He actually looks really, really fit. He looks really strong. So a fit Ollie Robinson is an asset to any side. He is a top quality performer. His record says that in the short amount of tests that he's played. And I think because of the tall release point, that's what helped in Pakistan. And if there is any cracks and there is any indifferent bounce on this surface, which I'm assuming England are seeing, then Ollie Robinson will be a threat in and around that off stump. He hits a good length in and around the top of off stump, and he asks questions of batter's technique along with Anderson. Two of them together will be pretty. I think will be pretty dangerous with that new ball.
On the spin front, it's Shoaib Bashir coming back in place of Rehan Ahmed. What do you make of that change? What would have led England to go from the leg spinner to the off spinner?
I actually think it's pretty much the same. I think that England are looking at the wicket that I've pictures that I've seen, the little cracks that are there. I think the tall height, the tall release point, driving it into the surface. I think that's why England have probably gone with Bashir and Hartley over, the leg spin of Rehan Ahmed. I think the Rehan Ahmed brings an all-round quality. He's bat ball and he's a little jack in the box and field. But I think when you're going with two seamers and two spinners, I think pick your best two spinners, which you're going to utilize the most on that surface. And I think because of the way the wicket looks, I think England must think, yes, it's going to break up. Yes, it's going to turn. And if there is any indifferent bounce, like we talked about from a seamer's point of view, then that will bring in the two tallest bowlers who drive the ball into the surface rather than the leg spinner who's sort of trying to kiss it off the surface. So I think that's why they're going with Robinson and going with two pacers, two spin bowlers, and both spin bowlers are big, tall release points who drive it into the surface. And I think that's what England are seeing.
Let's talk on the batting front. No changes there, and we'd expected them to not shuffle things up just on the evidence of one bad game. But what is it that you would hope the English batters have learned? What the big learning from the third test, of course, was that India have recalibrated their bowling and fielding plans. How do England counter that now?
Just be a little bit smarter in assessing situations. I don't think England need to, and I don't think England would have had too many team meetings. I think McCullum and Stokes maybe reiterated the team plans, which is still be positive, still be the best outlook and version of yourself. Might have had a word on being a little bit smarter in situations. Ben Stokes is the biggest one, who is who is the smartest in situations when it comes to absorbing pressure and then going again, from a positivity point of view. So I think that would be something I think England were being talked about, but I don't think there'll have been any big team meetings or any telling people what they've got to do. The international cricketers, they should understand what the situation they're in at that specific time. And hopefully they'll make better decisions, smarter decisions, because a couple of times now in the recent past, when England have been in a good position, they've given the game away by a mad half an hour, mad 45 minutes. And I think that's something England might have spoke about.
All right. The one thing this series has taught us is to not make predictions, to not ask for predictions. So I won't go down the conventional route. But the first three tests, they all lasted 4 days. Do you reckon we're in for a shorter test anytime soon?
I actually think we're looking at the surface. I think we're looking at a shorter test. Listening to what the messages come out from the press conferences from the ground have said the wicket doesn't look. It's as though that when you talked about in Riyadh, it was, wow, this could go 5 days. History tells you this goes 5 days. I don't think this is going to happen in Ranchi. So I think it could come down to not who wins the toss wins the match. But I think if you can win the toss and get the best of the surface first up, then you've got a great chance of controlling the match. And I think that's something, I think, prediction-wise, I predict the team that probably wins the toss will probably go on to win the game if they can get first innings runs on the board. If England had a crushing defeat, like I said after the game, I don't see any team. I don't see this England team having too much of a hangover from it. I think they'll come back strong. If England win the toss, I fancy England to win this game.
That will mean we go into a decider in Dharamsala. We'll see how it pans out. Thank you for your time, Steve. We look forward to your insights at the end of the Ranchi test.